pay attention to the screen. So, in terms of tonight, this is the Warno for tonight. Our primary objective is to prosecute the labeled targets and identify the regional commander, who controls the west side, or locate his whereabouts. Secondary objectives are securing any hostages or POWs in the AO. In terms of the regional commander, we're not calling him fucking call sign. We're not calling him Romeo Whiskey. His name is Whiskey Boy. So if we find him, that'll be a pro word we're going to use for him. Moving on. In terms of friendlies, the situation has not changed. We still have SDF in the AO. They will likely be prosecuting targets near the border and working a counteroffensive, so that actually could provide some cover to us as we prosecute our targets. There have been no notable changes to SDF other than they've been taking severe casualties, but they have been pushing through the front line, and they've actually made a little bit of progress. So the front line is actually, in the current intel that we have that's displayed, is actually relatively safe. Past the border, though, give or take a click from the border, is where a lot of the engagements are kind of seem to be happening. It seems like the enemy started to push back into buildings and using cover and shit, so they've stopped trying to hold those open terrains in the area with foliage. So in terms of independence, nothing has really changed. We still have the TAF, the Turkish Air Force, the AFRF, Russian Armed Forces, and the SAA, the Syrian Arab Army, and the AO. We haven't run into them. We've heard no communication from intelligence officer regarding any movement from independent forces. The only thing that there is to note is the Black Tusk PMC group, which I will talk about. They are operating in the AO. Later, we do have a short brief on them and kind of what to expect and what to look for. In terms of Op4, this has changed a little bit. Their disposition hasn't really changed, but their composition has. So, on August 7th of 2022, high-ranking members of the Syrian Arab Army signed the... I mean, we already talked about this part. The short and sweet of this is that the updated part is the bottom block. So on November 21st of 2023, which, you know, apparently we're in the future, so thank Albright for that. The Saudi oil company, Arma and American defense contractor Black Tusk agreed to a deal with details that were undisclosed in a security agreement, which would see that Black Tusk contractors would protect corporation oil rigs as ISIS grows stronger and the oil fields become prime targets for groups to attack and other armed parties for financial reasons. So on the map, if you look to the east, there is a massive zone here. This zone is operated and protected by Black Tusk. That's why, if you guys recall, there was a refinery a few ops ago that we mentioned. Same contractors, they're working this east side. The reason we're specifically talking about it is because we're going to be operating in close proximity to them during today's operations. So I just want to make sure that we're clear on that and you guys are aware of them or briefed. Any questions about the PMC group?
So they're just directly just protecting the area. They're not going to be doing like any stupid patrols or anything, right?
No, they're exclusively on a protection and defensive posture in that area. They should not be pushing out at all. So they should remain within the confines of that factory, the industrial facility there.
Okay. Do we know what sort of equipment they have access to?
They're an American PMC company, so M4 is like literally anything they can get. But usually, you should expect like 416s, M4s, shit like that.
Right.
They will have aircraft likely. I mean, they'll have like helicopters and shit. I mean, think Blackwater, but more. They're more focused on like high value sites like this. They're not really doing a lot of like personnel security. More or less, they're doing site security. In this region anyway.
Yep.
All right. In terms of strength, nothing has really changed. The only thing I want to note is that the company of T-70 or the BMPs. Yeah, so the AAR stated we killed 3. 1 did evade and escaped. There was a T-55 that was killed by air, I believe. We destroyed a ZU, which was good, in the town of Rida. There have been no further intel reports that we've received regarding that AO since. So the situation there is pretty much as we've left it, which is mostly cleared out. I don't know if SDF have pushed in that region and controlling it now. I'm not really sure, but those vehicles were destroyed. Apparently, one got away from the AO. But other than that, nothing has really changed. In terms of vehicles, I'd say the odds of us running into anything now is fairly low, but it's not totally out of the realm of possibility. I mean, they have a limited amount of them, but we killed a sizable fucking amount of them in the last op, so something I know. All right. The conflict map hasn't really changed much, so we're not really going to go over this, but we'll talk about the actual map that we have in game in a minute. In terms of execution, I mean, the intent is still the same. However, the JPL has changed, and we are going to quickly talk about that. So in terms of targets and what to expect, I am going to put a different light there so you guys can actually see this. Is that easier to see, guys, the screen?
Mhm.
All right. So the JPL has been updated. We're looking for the organization head whose identity is unknown. With the first and second deputy, and under the second deputy, we know there are 3 primary officers in that list, which is the West, East, and South regional commanders. We have identified the West regional commander. His name is Abdul Wahab Takhar. We're pursuing him. We do have a picture of him, which I will put in game. I'll put up on the screen in a minute, but that's who we're hunting today. We believe that he has close ties to the second deputy, which if we are able to get him, then we have a pretty good shot at working our way up. There's an Orbat too that was linked in the intel report, so I don't know if you guys had a chance to look at it or not, but it is in there. And we'll explain the link and what we believe is the command structure. All right. Attachments hasn't changed, so we'll leave that. In terms of today's mission, we have 3 objectives. The primary objective we're starting with is to conduct recon surveillance on the abandoned FOB from the previous operation. Intel suggests that OP4 has moved back into the region and that there has been significant OP4 movement in that area. So the first FOB that we worked, FOB Al Jahara, the one that we worked on before, after we took it out, and the site was actually hit with air after we left it. We believe that they are now using that site, or there could be movement there. We're not really sure what it is. We know that they are back in the area. We want to know why, so we'll send a team up to do some recon, spot it out. Unless the situation on the ground changes significantly, we are not assaulting that objective again. Unless there is a good reason, like a good military reason to do it, like there's a fuck ton of guys on it, there is intel on target, there is equipment that we want to seize on target, we are not to engage on that objective. The secondary objective, if you look at the map, Albright, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the one that's in the grid area of 06 and 06, correct? That block.
Me?
Yeah, I'm talking to you.
Oh,
The secondary
hang on.
objective, the one we're looking at. Yes, it
Yep,
is.
that,
Okay.
that's secondary
Okay.
objective.
All right. Multiple sites from local sources, local intel sources, so assets on the ground have concluded that multiple OP4 convoys have been arriving and departing. The combat with heavy personnel security detail SIGINT and ICOM traffic has also confirmed that there could potentially be a high-value target there, so we're going to work that objective. Keep in mind, guys, the intel from today is using a timeline from when we assaulted the previous objective. So specifically with ICOM traffic, they were seeing a lot of, it seems like a lot of the communications were coming out of this area. So the reason why we're targeting it. The third objective, which is the southern one that's marked suspected HVT location, an agency RNS team concluded the compound has heavy OP4 activity. Again, same kind of pattern. We're seeing a lot of security teams arriving and departing in rapid succession. Intel officers believe that there could be an HVT on target based on the pattern of movement and activity there. They have a small surveillance element that's kept eyes up on the compound. And we were actually working in this AO not super long ago. We conducted a hostage rescue in this AO, and the building that they're set up in is actually the old HVT compound, or the old building that had the hostages inside of it. So it makes sense that that could be a suspected site. It's in very close proximity to another hit that we did. So it kind of plays into that a little bit. Any questions about the missions for tonight, guys? No?
We using air to get in, obviously.
Each objective will have its own info plan, so we'll wait until after and we'll coordinate that, because it can change. I mean, some of them are in driving distance, some of them I wouldn't drive to, so we'll block that out in a minute. All right. In terms of terrain weather, I mean, we're expecting it to be the same as what we've seen previously. The Black Tusk intel report. I'm gonna let Albright talk about this. Albright, you can see the screen, correct?
No.
Now you can't.
Nope.
Even if you go up to it and hold right click, you can't see it.
Hang on.
No?
Hold right click.
Hold right click? Yeah, no, I'm not.
Okay, cool. Anyway, whatever, I'll read it. Okay, everyone can see. Is it updating for everyone else so you guys can
Mhm.
see it? Okay. Black Tusk, an American defense company that was founded by ex-Special Forces operatives Donovan Holloway and Marcus Valdez. Basically, they rose to prominence following a successful asset protection deal with Ukraine, which saw Black Tusk operatives repel suspected suspects GRU operatives from Crimea before the annexation. So, think basically a Blackwater spinoff. In terms of composition, I mean, following the U.S. withdrawal of Afghanistan, Black Tusk has been critical of the U.S. government and its foreign policy, accusing the U.S. of being soft and easy to push over. Cooperation between them and the U.S. forces has kind of broke down, so we're not really working with them a lot until guys are just kind of keeping tabs on them at this point. In terms of ideology, well, primarily motivated by money. They've taken pro bono contracts as well. All these contracts consistently promote Western ideals, militarism, and establishments of police states. There is an image here which shows some other dudes out in the field just by taken by I guess like a local dude. Spotted them out. They're not really able to confirm the photographer or the farmer pictured here, but I mean, you know, we all know what happened with
Want me to drop this one?
with Blackwater, yeah. All right. In terms of strength, they come from numerous SOF units, so consisting of members of Delta, German KSK, Finnish Jaegers, and various other SOF units. Black Tusk contractors have access to high quality equipment and retain all their training. Their members in Syria are estimated to be about 700 or so. Again, more source images on the right. So again, as I was saying earlier, expect some pretty high tier equipment from these guys. In terms of the threat level, their mandate has been limited to specific oil fields. It should be noted that locals have voiced their concerns of contractors interfering with their lives. It'd be not against their MO to begin expanding elsewhere. Obviously, they want us to continue monitoring them. But in terms of what we believe, we think they should be mostly staying and protecting that local area. They shouldn't be pushing out. I mean, their contract is to protect the oil field here. But as Intel has stated, there is a chance it could happen. So if we see anything that looks a little odd, be extra careful to PID and try to deconflict. In terms of intel analysis, their operators are well-trained, well-equipped. They may harbor some anti-government ideals. Statistics have shown an uptick in recruitment following unpopular government actions. The White House hasn't prohibited action inside their AO. Like they haven't stopped. We can go into their AO if we want to. It's encouraged that we don't interfere. We kind of just let them do their thing. Obviously, it's up to us to decide what we want to do. But they are well equipped, well trained, and within their AO, they will protect it. And they will have, the Russian kind of counterparts kind of trailing with them. They essentially want us avoiding them without, to avoid confronting them unless we absolutely have to, which means don't fucking shoot them. I don't think they would like us to start shooting Americans in Syria, so we'll try and avoid that.
To clarify, that last slide essentially stated that these are the most well-trained, well-equipped
Cut out.
entity inside of Syria, with the Russian GRU Spetsnaz trailing behind. However, you will not be seeing. We are not expecting the GRU Spetsnaz to be operating in this AO. And someone had a question.
Can you guys see this? What's on the screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, guy riding shotgun is the HVT we're looking for. It's really hard to see. It's a really shitty picture, but you can kind of make out his uniform, his hat, and he's wearing aviators. So I'm sure Charlie is just
brown guy
loving
with
that.
aviators.
Yeah, there you go.
Scarf.
Oh, now I can see it.
Nice. All right, guys.
Hooray.
So here's the deal. Team leads, we're gonna step out. Everyone else, go and cut up, get your shit together. Make it quick. We're gonna roll out.
Why is Fat Joe, Tony? Fat Joe is fucking image.
Roger. Be advised, we've departed base, but we're approaching checkpoint 1. We're en route to our target. Copy, over.
Vroom, vroom, vroom.
Roger. Alpha 1 copies all. Out.
We vrooming.
Yeah, we are.
Approaching
Arma.
CP.
What?
CP1.
Roger, checkpoint 1. No traffic.
It's just a straight shot, Charlie. The only thing I have concerns of is when we go around that weird like turn thingy, like little bend.
I'm pretty sure I drew the lines inside chat.
No, I drew them.
No. He put his in group. It's fine though. I didn't want to clutter the map with all of our checkpoints and shit. So I told Asmund you can put it in group chat.
Do you need me to help you direct or no?
Me? No, I got it.
Okay.
Wait for the next last turn until you go off the map.
You know, once we pass CP2, like all bets are fucking off, dude.
Yeah, no, if we take contact, we need to bail out to the right, off the road and go from there.
Just not have a rehearsal what happened last time.
Pretty much. Reading rules, I just want to make this clear again. So Charlie, you'll take care of any POWs on target. Asmund, your SSC plus primary breach. Bolin, you got primary med. I'll take care of comms.
Raj.
Cool.
Asmund, your point on the patrol up.
Roger that. Are we hitting up whiskey, then up tequila, and then bourbon?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So do you have a fucking? Are we gonna blow a hole in that fucking wall on the outskirts?
We're not assaulting unless we have to. We'll make the decision once we get closer. If we are, then yeah, we'll probably do a wall
So
breach if we can.
we're just recce. We're just trying to get movement.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much, like, there's a lot of. You remember the last hit we did on this thing
Yeah.
a while ago? We recovered intel, and then basically what we think happened was after we left, they came back in to like recover dead or whatever, and they're using it as a temporary outpost. If you look at the map, they've already conducted ISR. There is hostiles on it right now, so we're trying to figure out what the fuck it is. There's some sort of armored truck there, so.
Just go hit it again to fuck with them. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, pretty much. Come back to the same place, we'll fuck with you again.
This time blow up all the buildings so they can't go back.
We called it. I mean, there was an airstrike on it after we left.
Watch this turn. This turn gives me PTSD from last time we were here.
The checkpoints they wanted in groups or inside so they could see. I'm gonna move them to side.
That sucks.
The other team wanted them, so they knew where we're at.
It's okay.
Bravo Alpha.
Just give them great coordinates. You should be able to read a map, right?
Past checkpoint 3. How copy over?
Passing Keegan Canal.
Roger. Bravo 1, correction. Alpha 1 copies all. Oh, I got that call sign treatment, man. Went from Charlie 1 to Alpha 1, or to Bravo 1, now I'm Alpha 1. Now I'm gonna keep fucking it up.
So you want us moving around those fucking points?
Yeah.
So are we
I
gonna
don't
hold at any just to try to get
Yes.
eyes on first?
Yeah, so we're gonna hold at pretty much all of them, and then we're gonna work our way around. We're
You
gonna
got a
hang out
time
and
frame?
do whiskey for a bit.
Yeah, okay.
What?
I'm gonna say you got a time
Oh.
frame for whiskey and tequila.
At least 5 minutes.
Checkpoint 4.
Okay, slow roll up here. That building, we wiped it out last time, so. On the right. We'll clear that real quick. Okay, 4 with me, 3-5 set perimeter.
Roger.
Oh, why am I reloading?
Touching our show real quick.
Building skirt coming out. Five one loose out.
Fucking good thing we didn't get it.
I'll fix my whisper.
Decided to reload it as soon as it jumped out of the wreck.
On me, boys. Set up a makeshift wedge for right now. You want combat pace or do you want just regular?
We can roll at a relaxed pace for now. Hey, let's keep it tight. Let's form a column, guys. If we spot anything, we can spread out, but I want to keep it tight for now. 4-1, strobe on.
Do I have slow book? Are you guys all running faster than me right now?
Yeah, we're at relaxed paced. Shift left a little bit more into the tree line. Make sure we get eyes on that fucking hill, God forbid.
Fucking BKM's wet dream up there. Got a light source, 150 or so up top of the hill. Can't tell what it is.
You said Barry 150?
Confirm 150 to the southeast.
Hold for a second. I don't got eyes on that at all.
Neither do I.
Alright, let's keep moving.
Down here, man.
We'll keep moving for now. Approaching op whiskey.
Fuck, halt. That's security.
Pick it up southeast or direct south.
Southwest.
Did it again. Left the Raven in the fucking truck. I'm gonna run back with Poland. We'll get it set. You guys can, if you want to, you can slow maneuver to Tequila, and I'll get the drone up.
Okay.
Alright. Hey, just remember, if you guys get fucked though, you're on your own. Like, it's gonna be at least a minute or two before we get up here, even if we're dead sprint.
Yep, we won't get fucked. It's fine.
Alright, cool.
4 with me.
You catch that?
Yeah, let's go. We'll be fine. Hopefully. So you said move up to the next objective? You said move up to the next objective, not whiskey?
Yeah, we're going to Tequila. Looks like we won't be able to see anything from whiskey.
Okay. I'm moving at combat pace. Hold for a second. One, this is 5. That light source you saw is that compound. I see it now. It's just the top of a fucking building.
Alright, check. Keep maneuvering out. I'm gonna get the Raven up, and we're gonna fall back to you. Just, like, strict ROE. Do not fire unless fired upon.
Copy that.